There we go. Alright. I know this is probably like a weird thing to do, but I have 3 fans on this one header right here, which they sound horrible because they are used, like in my older case. But I have 2 of the MSI CORELIQUID 360Rs in the bottom right here. I have one right here, one right here. This one I took the motor out of because I was using it for another project at first, but I bought a brand new one, which the motor's right here, built into the radiator. It has enough pressure to maintain about 30 degrees, even, well, at minimal gaming load, but whenever I do Cinebench, it gets around 60 to 61, 62 maybe, but as soon as I turn off all the fans, like, even on low settings, they're fine. But it's as soon as I turn them down, like completely off, is when it starts warming up a little bit, but not by much. It takes like 15 minutes for it to get to 70 degrees, just at low idle. But, yeah. Here's what I did, though. I don't know if you can see it or not, but maybe right there. But, up here, coming out of the CPU, the outlet, coming into here, all the way down, all the way back, but it splits at the bottom. So it comes right here, splits, goes all the way down, comes back with the middle. The cold spot right here comes back up into the intake on this side. Same thing, goes down, splits open, goes to the center, comes back in, straight to the CPU. However, I do plan on getting the waterblock for the 6700 XT, specifically to plumb the hot end of the CPU into the GPU, out, and then to the waterblock. Either that, or I can have it going from CPU to radiator, from radiator over here to GPU, and back to CPU. I don't know which one would be better, but I believe that would be better, so it has 2 times the cooling, because CPU would be cooled first, and then after the radiators goes into this, because there's no pump involved, no reservoir, it's all sealed, because they do have vacuum bleeder valves, which I think are right back there behind the, hold on a second, let me see if I can get a better angle on it. They're right about here, like right behind all these fan cables. That little thing right there, like right here, this one right here, that is a vacuum bleeder valve. You have one of these on each of the radiators. You have this one and this one up here, which I tried to sit up here and do it. I forget the size of this tubing, but I did use a lighter, warm it up, and slide it over and put a little slit on it as well. I don't know if you can see it or not, but a little slit. I slipped it over, I pulled a little vacuum on it, and then put a little water into the line with the vacuum. So as soon as this would be getting the air up top, I was sucking the air out, and the water was flowing back in at the same time. I don't know if that helps or not, but it made it a lot easier for me to bleed it out, because I did a pre-fill outside of the case, and since this is a fractal torrent, I was able to take out the front 2 180mm fans that are originally in here, which I think I actually have them somewhere around here. I did take them out. I ended up using the brackets that come with it for either 140 or 120mm. These are 120mm, because the 120 by 3. What I did is I put these in here. I have the fans in the front. Let me take the front cover off so I can show you what I mean. The section. I'm using some really old Cooler Master fans from like the early 2010 era, but this is what I mean. I have 3 fans in the front. They're all at 120mm. And then all the radiators are 120. The bottom one has brand new fans. The front one needs new fans, which I'm probably going to put some Corsair fans on it that are either electromag or ball bearing. I have the 140mm fractal torrent, one of the 140mm that came with the case. I took it out of the bottom, put it up there. I still have both the fans plus the 2 180mm just sitting around. But so far, Cinebench is doing pretty well. I have the Ryzen 7 5700G. I have it at 4.4 to 4.6 on the boost clock. And then this is basically running stock, which is the MSI MEC X2 OC, I believe. And it's running at about 2748 on the megahertz. So it's pretty decent. Pulls about maybe 140 watts. This one pulls about 75 at max. 75 to 78, sometimes 80. Just depends on what workload I'm putting on it. Running the ROG Strix B550 motherboard, A gaming. the white one. And then I have, for my RAM, I have 32 gigs of 3200 megahertz XPG ADATA D50s, which they've done almost perfect since I've had them. I've had them for about 2 years now. The power supply is a Corsair HX 850 watt. The boot drive is a 250 SSD, 250 gig. It's a 970 Pro Samsung. That's M.2. And then for mass storage on the back, I have the Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte green, which is pretty decent. But overall, this is pretty decent. Let me get the size of the tubing, because I know it's annoying to have videos like this where people just say all this technical BS, but they don't tell you what size tubing to use, because I believe the tubing that comes with it originally, let me double check my measurements here, because I do have an extra piece hanging around. Maybe my calipers. Get my calipers out so I can actually show you what I mean. If you can see the screen on it, because it's pretty dead. But really, truthfully, we only have to worry about the inner diameter for these, because as long as the inner diameter matches, you should be fine. But this is the MSI tubing. MSI's tubing is, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's pretty bright. Nope, you're not going to be able to see it, but it says about 6 mil, 6.2 roughly. However, the clear tubing, in just a second, the inner diameter, this is also from EK, it is 10 mil interior and about 12 mil exterior. So this right here slips over this, which is a little bit of lube. So I don't know how well it does for like coupling size, but just sitting here twisting it even dry fits over it pretty good. So, and even putting a little bit of bend on it still doesn't do much to it. Just sit here and tilt down, it'll pop off. But on this one, I put about a ½ inch worth of material over it so it has a better seal. But yeah, that's basically the whole setup. I don't know if I confuse anybody or not, but I don't know if this pump is strong enough to actually handle all this, but so far it's doing pretty well just for the CPU. When I get the GPU block and actually do it, because for some reason I can only find it with UK water blocks, and it's getting really difficult to find water cooling for this. I guess it's because it's more of a mid-range card and nobody really wants to mess with it, but I really do want to add into it, because I'm going to have it come out of this from the CPU, either from the CPU or from up here. Not sure yet, because I already got this side cut, which I might be able to use to my advantage, but no leaks, no pressure drop, nothing. I mean, it took me about 20 minutes to get this to bleed out, so it doesn't have that gurgling noise. As Jay's 2 cents used to say, if there's gurgling noises, AIOs aren't really meant to be used as water cooling, but if you can get it working, you can get it working. So, hopefully you can figure it out. I did, and I know very little of this stuff. I just looked up all the parts, figured out what I wanted, and went from there. Just re-engineered it myself. So, yeah. Good. Hopefully that helps, because I basically did a AIO hack with MSI. However, you can, like, there is, I think, the V2 of this one, which has more of a square block instead of a circular block, so if you're looking for more of a different aesthetic, that could work as well. But I will say, for the way this is set up, I'm happy with it. It's quieter by a long shot, it doesn't sound like a wind tunnel, and the temperatures are a hell of a lot better. So, yeah. Hopefully this helped you guys, and hope to see you all on the channel again.